Hey guys, so today I wanted to make a video to show you how to change the logic board in the iPhone 5C. So first of all, before we get started, I just wanted to go over a few things that we're going to be needing today. And let's start with this. It's a plastic pry tool and a tweezers. You won't necessarily need all this stuff, but I just wanted to show you what I'm going to be using. We're going to be using these two screwdrivers. Now you will need these. This is a Phillips size 000 and it's a Torx size 0. So you're going to be needing those to doing any of these procedures on the iPhone. And we're also going to be using this suction cup tool here, and I'll explain in a bit what this is for. And I'll include links in the video description where I got these parts to fix the phone, where I got these tools to work on the phones, anything that I think might be helpful to you. I'll include links in the video description, so check them out there. So next what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab the phone, and you're going to want to use this Torx size 0, and you're going to want to remove these two screws right here on the bottom. I already got them removed, but I just wanted to show you they're located right there, so go ahead and remove those. So next what we're going to do is we're going to grab the phone, and we're going to grab this tool right here, and I'll explain in a bit how we use this, but basically you're going to just slide this in here, and you're going to go just above the home button, and right there, just so you clear the home button, and you want to press down. Now if you have a broken screen where it's cracked right here so you can't get good suction, what you can do is put some clear plastic packaging tape over this, and then it'll give this suction cup something to grab onto. Now what most people recommend and what they use is just these little suction cup tools, which you can use these, but it's so much easier in a way. These things aren't very much, they're like $8 I think for a tool like this, and it makes it so much easier because what you can do is just pry this apart like that, just like that. And sometimes there's like lint and stuff. If you have it in your pocket, your phone can have lint and stuff build up in these cracks here. Sometimes they come apart really hard with this, because what you want to do, if you do pry up with one of these, just be careful that you don't pry in here with something sharp and damage your frame on your phone here. That's the biggest concern. So if you can get it up just a little bit, then you can usually pry something under one of these little slots right here and finish it off that way. But that's my main concern and caution for you guys, is if you don't have a tool like this and you use the other suction cup tool, you're probably gonna, one way or the other, you're gonna need something suction cup. But so let's go ahead and continue on with the screen. So now that we've taken the suction cup tool off of the screen here, what we can do is just set the screen down and just carefully lift up, as you can see, like this, and then go ahead and remove with the Phillips screwdriver. This is the Phillips size 000, like I was showing you. And you're going to want to go ahead and remove 4 screws here from this plate right there. And go ahead and remove that shield, and just make sure that you put the screws in the right order when you take them off. That way you know how they go back together, because they're all different sizes, some of them. So you want to make sure you do that. And now I'm using a plastic pry tool. You can use your fingernails if you want, whatever you can get in there with. I recommend sticking with plastic just so you don't damage anything. If you use a metal, you can use something metal, but just be really careful if you do. And just go ahead and remove this connector right here. Remove this connector right here. And then this one over here. So those 3 connectors come apart, and then the screen comes off just like that. To change the logic board, what we're going to want to do, first of all, go ahead and remove your SIM card. If you have a SIM in there, just go ahead and remove the SIM tray. And then next what we're going to want to do is grab a Phillips screwdriver and remove these 2 screws on this plate right here. Next you can just grab this plate and get it out of your way. And then what you can do is, using a pry tool, go ahead and remove this connector right here and just get it back out of the way. Then we're going to go ahead and remove this connector right here for the battery. Then we're going to remove this antenna wire right here. It just pops up, and just pull it back out of the way. Then what we're going to do is, using the Phillips screwdriver, remove 2 screws in this camera shield right here. Then once you do that, we're going to go ahead and remove this shield, get it out of our way. And then we're going to go ahead and remove the camera by prying up on the connector right there. And we're going to remove the camera just by pulling it out of there. Then what we're going to do is, using a Phillips screwdriver, we're going to remove every Phillips screw we see, except not this one right here where the SIM card is to eject a SIM card, but we're going to do this screw right here. We're going to do these 2 screws here, these Phillips ones. We're going to remove this one. So next what we're going to want to do is we're going to need to use a flat screwdriver of some sort, and we're going to need to remove all these screws here that require a flat screwdriver. So there's two right here, and there's another one right here. So go ahead and remove those. The next what you're going to want to do is there's a little screw right here under this prong here, and it has covered with a black plastic adhesive strip you're going to need to pull off, and then move that Phillips screw right there. Once it's loose, then go ahead and grab that little prong and just pull it right out of there, just like that. So next what we're going to do is we're going to use a pry tool, and we're going to remove this connector right here on the logic board. Then we can go ahead and just pry anywhere really carefully and pry up on the logic board here. And then we're going to turn this like this, and if you watch all the connectors and just pry up like this, then you can just grab the logic board and then hang on to it while you pry off this antenna that's underneath. So just very carefully, that antenna wire needs to come off of there, and your logic board comes out just like that. So to reinstall your new logic board, what we're going to do is just grab the logic board and we're going to set it down, and we're going to reconnect this antenna wire right here, just very carefully. And I already got it connected, but I wanted to show you. So then what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to watch this connector right here, this one in particular, and we're going to just watch all these different ones and make sure that the logic board sits down carefully all the way around. Then we can actually go ahead and reconnect that connector next. So just make sure it snaps down in there nice. And then what we can do is we can go ahead and let's grab this shield right here, set it right down on there. Go ahead and put those two Phillips screws in. Then we're going to go ahead and, using the flat screwdriver, we're going to put these screws back in that required the flat head. So next we can grab the rear camera, set it right down in there, make sure that the connector connects properly in there. Then we can grab the shield, set it right down on there, and go ahead and put the two Phillips screws that go in there, and then put all the other Phillips screws in this logic board all the way around wherever they went. Now just to double check, we got our flathead screw in here, flat in here, and flat in here. And then we have Phillips in here, here, and then the two in the cover for the camera here, and then one right beside down in here. Then we have these two here that we took out and we put back. And then make sure to not put any in these ones, because that's going to be where the cover goes, which you'll see in a little bit here. So then let's go ahead and reconnect these connectors right here. The one for the battery and the one for the charging port here. Then we need to reconnect this antenna wire right here. So make sure the antenna wire is connected properly. Make sure that this is sitting in the channel here for the wire. I'm going to grab this plate cover here and go ahead and put those two screws back in. Then next you just want to make sure to pop your SIM card back in there. So to reassemble, just grab your screen, and if you get down here close, just go ahead and start with this connector right here and just put that right down in place. You can hear, so you can kind of feel it click in. That one's a little bit tricky, but then just go ahead and do this next one. That one's a little easier to hear. Then you want to do the last one. Now just make sure they feel like they're all seated properly. And then you're going to want to grab your shield and set it down on there, and go ahead and put your 4 screws back in the right order. So once you have all your screws in your shield there, you can go ahead and just set this down carefully. Then what we're going to want to do is, as we tip up a little bit like this, we're going to want to get this top in first, and then we're going to just want to carefully set the phone down and just press down and work our way down around. Make sure it's down flush all the way around, and then go ahead and put your 2 screws back in the bottom. And you're all set. Thanks for watching.